Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, here on this Tuesday morning, talking to you about you and your business. Sanjay Singhal, he's with a company called Audiobooks, audiobooks.com, and I want to talk a little bit about his company. A lot of changes going on, major transformations, if you will, in the audiobook industry. And audiobooks.com, they're rather huge out there, getting bigger all the time, and we're delighted to have you on the program. Welcome.
Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate being here.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the company.
Well, audiobooks.com provides digital audiobooks to anybody who wants them. I got into the business 10 years ago because I loved audiobooks. I had a 4-hour commute every week going back and forth to business school. And someone pointed out to me that there was this company called Netflix that shipped out DVDs as people needed them. And I thought it was a really stupid idea until they told me that Netflix had 400,000 customers. Wow, okay. Well, I think we can ship out CDs for audiobooks the same way and save people a lot of money on audiobooks. And that's what we did. We had a great time growing that company.
So how is it different from other, book buying places such as Amazon?
Well, of course, Amazon sells books in a lot of different formats. You can buy paper books there, and you can buy audiobooks and ebooks. So we really focus on the audio side of it, which is, it started out with CDs, of course, and CDs are still big, about 40% of the industry. But as smartphones have become more popular, we've really migrated in the direction of digital audiobooks, directly downloaded or streamed to your device. And our claim to fame is the streaming part. You know, everything is, you're getting it out of the cloud into your phone or your TV set now, and we're the only company that can stream it directly and let you download it.
Okay, very cool. And so 40% are using CDs. Is that from you? You're still providing CDs?
Not really. We've migrated away from CDs ourselves. A couple of years ago, we realized that streaming was the future, and so we imitated Netflix again. As they went to the streaming model, we went to the streaming model as well. At that time, CDs were probably 80% of the market, and they've been dropping dramatically, 40% now. And we expect that'll continue to drop as automobiles start to stream audiobooks as well, as opposed to building in CD players. And we're already seeing that migration happening.
Yeah, the incredible shrinking CD. I guess it's like anything else out there. It's incredible how short that lasted. After decades of vinyl, 8-tracks lasted a couple of years, it seemed like, and then cassettes seemed like it was going to be the player for a long time, and it was measured in only a decade or so, and then now CDs, and you always wonder what's next. I guess simplicity is the bottom line, isn't it?
Whatever it takes to push a button and then get instant gratification, that's the direction we're heading in.
Yep. So how many subscribers do you enjoy?
We're just a year and a half into this business after developing the technology. So we're at 30,000 customers and growing extremely rapidly from zero start a couple of years ago.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. And how many titles do you have at any one time?
A lot. 45,000 titles. Pretty much anything you find on the New York Times bestseller list, you'll be able to find as an audiobook and as an audiobook on audiobooks.com. Surprisingly, the most popular category, when we launched this business, we thought it was all about self-help and business people listening to sales books on the drive into the office. But we discovered, no, even the business people were listening to fiction, and the number one category is romance fiction. Surprised the heck out of us. We had to rejig our business plan a little bit, no more training audiobooks. But it's been a great ride since then, and we all love listening to our own audiobooks.
Yeah, that's true. Most people are listening to these on their way to work, and why would you want to work on the way to work, right?
Exactly.
So I for one, I'm weird. I'm reading in my car, if you will. I'm always on audiobooks. It's my way of getting around. But I'm listening in my car right now to End the Fed by Ron Paul. I'm reading that right now online, and and did the 4-hour work week online, by audio. But I think it's wasted time not to be listening to a good book between destinations. I read a couple of books a month as a result of that.
Yeah, absolutely. As do I. I mean, I read a lot of paper or ebooks as well. And we find generally our audiobook listeners like books, but they're not book fans. The more you get into being a serious book fan, the more you think the printed form is the only pure form of listening to a book, whereas our customers are both listening to books and filling in time. And you mentioned a couple of the books you're listening to. I think one of the most fascinating types of books you can listen to is autobiographies.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're almost
or biography.
Or biography. I mean, Walter Isaacson's book about Steve Jobs, it's a huge book, fantastic to listen to in audio. And most autobiographies are narrated by the individual, by the person that the book is about. And so, hearing my life read to you by Bill Clinton, or my favorite is Lucky Man by Michael J. Fox, and, hearing the catch in his throat as he talks about discovering that he has Parkinson's, there's no substitute for that reading in a printed format.
Yeah, absolutely. No question about it. Well, this is good stuff. I encourage people to do it. By the way, I consider myself an avid reader. My youngest son reads circles around me, but he's ridiculous. He's probably read more books than 5 of the best read adults have read in their entire life. He's ridiculous. He's almost OCD about reading. But I love audiobooks as well. I read a lot. And I do prefer books in paper. But I love audiobooks too. It's not just a time saver for me. It's just one more way for me to keep getting that type of information, that more in-depth information that you really can only get from books. Magazines are great and articles are great, and I'm a publisher of a national news website, and love the great information you can get quickly and something like that. But there's still nothing that can beat a good book, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I'm a book person. Everybody who works here are book people. We love it. And we're about to make it a lot easier for you to listen to books. I mentioned the cars earlier. As all of the major car manufacturers are putting in-dash infotainment systems, next-generation systems, all of a sudden now you're going to have a button on your dash that you can push, and an audiobook will start playing. And we expect a lot of people to look at that and say, what does this button do? And really discover audiobooks for the first time. 80% of the public's never listened to one, and we're going to really tackle that with what's going to be happening in the car market.
I love it. Well, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you again for having me.
And that's Sanjay Singhal. He is with Audiobooks. That's audiobooks.com. You can't get it any easier to that than finding it. Thanks for being with us. When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here. It shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. You're listening to The Price of Business.
End of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine.